quick announcement before we get going. This November, from the 10th through the 14th, I am going to be in Austin, Texas with my wife. We're going to visit the town, have some good times, and of course, play a little poker. So if you happen to be in the area, please look me up. You can get a hold of me on my Instagram, best way to send me a message. But I'm planning to play at the Lodge and maybe the Texas Card House in Austin. Hope to see you then. Let's get into the hands. All right, first hand of the day, we have Ace King suited from under the gun. We just sat down, we got 500 in our stack. We opened for $15. Get a call from a player with a small stack over at the low jack with about $100 left. And then the small blind, who has about $350 in his stack, makes it $60. Pretty sure he has a premium hand here. I got Ace King suited. It could be worth a flip, but why flip when you got position? And let's go see what a flop will bring. So I put in the call for the 45 more. The other player in the low jack also puts in the call. So three of us go see a flop, which comes out pretty good for my hand. It comes 10-8-4 with two hearts. So I got two overs and nut flush draw. First player bets 120. This sure feels like it's a overpair. Most likely queens, maybe jacks. Would say aces or kings, but I got an ace and a king in my hand, so that reduces those odds. I think I'm going to be calling any kind of turn card at this point, and he's going to be jamming all in. So might as well jam all in now. That way, if a scare card such as an ace or a king comes up, he's not going to find some ridiculous fold. So I move all in. The other player snap calls, and so does the player in the small blind. So we're going to play a big one. We got a 363 in the main, 460 on the side, and we get to see the two hearts right on the turn, an ace on the river just in case. I turn over my nut flush. Player in the low jack had pocket fours for flopping a set. The other player did not show, but he later told me that he had kings. I slide over to the end seat for better filming and get rewarded with two aces. There's a $6 straddle. I open for 25. I end up getting two callers for the 25. So we're going to go three ways to a flop with $85 in the center. We get a pretty good flop when the flop comes out. King, queen, deuce with two hearts. We do have the ace of hearts. Should be able to get some action from straight draws, flush draws, and of course those kings, maybe even queens. I lead out for $30, and both players decide to put in the call. The seven of spades should be a complete blank. Shouldn't really hit anyone. I don't think anyone has queen seven of hearts or anything like that. So now it's just determine how much I want to bet. And since there are still two players here, probably one has maybe a king and one has a draw, I decided to go for 2/3 pot. Might be a little bit greedy, but I'm okay with that. If they fold, I win a pot. I got aces. I'm happy. If I put in a smaller bet and they outdraw me, I'm going to feel like a total idiot. So they have to call $125 if they want to play. After some thought, they both end up folding, and we take down a smaller pot with aces. But you know what they say, you're either going to win a small pot with aces or lose a big one. I'll take winning a small one. There's a $6 straddle in this hand, a couple limpers. I have ace 10 offsuit. I'm on the button. You can go any of three ways. You can raise, you can call, or you can fold. I decided to call this time, and we see a flop six ways. That comes 10 high, rainbow. Really good flop for my hand, and everyone checked to me. Well, this is good enough. I'm just going to bet my hand about a pot-sized bet of $30. It's folded back to the big blind, who decides he wants to play. Now, he's been fairly active, and it doesn't mean that he has a monster here when he puts in a call for such a big bet, pot-sized bet on the flop. But he could have something like 6-7, maybe possibly slow playing a hand like 5-4. Turn card comes as a 5 of hearts. Not a great card. He could have been calling me with second pair. He checks to me. I figure I'll get two streets of value on this hand. I check it back. River card comes as a 4 of spades, puts two pair on the board. If he had some sort of straight draw, yeah, he's toast. If he has a 4 or 5, he's going to get paid off. He bets out for $65. Seems like a reasonable size bet for me. I got top pair, top kicker. If he has a 4 or 5, oh well. I put in the call, and he shows that he had king queen. So he called with 2 overs and a backdoor straight draw, and didn't get there. The very next hand, I pick up ace 8 of hearts in the cutoff. I open for a raise to 15, get called from the small blind and the big blind. Flop comes out queen 9-5 with 2 hearts. Excellent flop for my hand. I got a nut flush draw and an overcard, of course. I bet out for $20. The small blind puts in the quick call. The big blind also thinks it's worth $20. So the 3 of us are going to see a turn card which comes out to 3 of hearts. Oh man, are we running hot. Not only that, we have the player in the small blind lead into us. This $30 bet is just meant to find out some information. The other player folds out, and the information I'm going to give him is I'm just going to call. Try to give him as little information as possible. If he's bluffing, I want him to continue. If he's not, well, I get a chance to raise when I'm in position. River card comes as 5 of clubs, pairs the board. He checks it over to me. I figure I'm going to go for a pretty good sizing here. Look like a bluff. I might not have anything. I put in 130. He snap calls verbally. I turn my hand over and he quickly mucks, and we win a pretty good sized pot. Well, we've been running pretty hot, and it continues. We look down at 2 kings. 2 players limp in. I raise to 20. End up getting called by the 2 limpers. So the 3 of us are going to go see a flop with $64 in the center. Flop comes out 10-7-4 rainbow. There's a lot of straight draws possible, so I'm not going to be playing around too much. I'm just going to bet out for $30. If they have something, they'll come along. If not, I'll take it down now. They both end up folding quickly, and the rush continues. There are 2 limpers in front of us. We look down at ace jack offsuit. Decided to put in a raise to $20. End up getting 3 callers. So we're going to go to a flop 4 ways with $84 in the center. Flop comes king 10-3 all spades. So we got the nut flush, an overcard, and a gutter. This check to us. We're going to go ahead and continue. I make it $30. First player puts in the fold. Second player folds. Last player decides he wants to play. He puts in the call. So the 2 of us are going to go see a turn card which comes a complete blank of a 4 hearts. He quickly checks to me. I figured he either has a king or a flush draw, so I decided to check this back, see if I can get there. If not, I'll probably make some sort of crying call, hero call, trying to pick off a missed flush draw in case he has something like queen jack with the jack of spades. He bets for 40. I don't like it. I call. He shows king queen with the queen of spades. Yeah. Could have saved some money on that one. It got a little too sticky, I think. Well, our stack has dwindled down a little bit, but I pick up ace king. Definitely going to be worth a raise. 1 limper comes in, I make it 15, and I get 4 players putting in the call. So this is going to be one of those multi-way pots with ace high that you have to navigate. Flop comes out good. It comes king 10-5, 2 diamonds, 1 spade. I decided to check this just because I want to be a little bit balanced. Don't want to be trapped in there with 4 people with wide ranges. Player on the button puts in a large bet for $70. Obviously, he's thinks he has a pretty strong hand. He would do this with, say, top pairs. He would do it with flush draws, maybe even a straight draw. He does have a short stack, so I think he's just going to be going with it. Here, I'm trying to decide whether I want to isolate or just call. I decided just to call. The other 2 players fold out rather quickly. You see a turn card that comes 9 of diamonds. Okay, completes the flush, completes the straights. Don't really like my hand that much, but he only has a small amount left, and I'm not going to be folding for $30. He bets, I call. We see a run out that comes with another diamond. I'm hating life. He says I don't have a diamond, and I go, I don't either, and he shows the king 6. Happy to win this one. Well, the game's getting a little bit short. They just started a 2-5 game, and a couple players went over there to play. So the next couple hands are going to be shorthanded. I'm on the cutoff. I got king nine suited. It's folded me. I'm definitely going to be putting in a raise. Get called by the big blind, who's a very solid player. Flop comes out nine high. He checks. I continue. He quickly calls. Turn card comes is really good. It's a king. He checks to me again. I continue again. And he quickly calls again. So I'm thinking he has something like Jack 10, perhaps. So I'm hoping just to dodge a straight. River card comes as an ace of diamonds. Shouldn't really make him unless he has something like ace 9 that he was calling with weak. Anyway, I put out another bet for 45 and he snap folds. So he probably missed his straight. Well, there's nothing like playing shorthanded than picking up big cards. So here I have two kings and the low jack. Open for $20 over a $6 straddle. Get a few callers for the $20. So we're going to end up going four ways to this flop, which comes out king 10 9 rainbow. Top set, possible straight out there. Otherwise, I'm in really good shape here. I was thinking of what size I wanted to use when it gets checked to me, and I decided probably about $45 or $50 would do the trick. But my opponent doesn't check. He bets right into me for 45. It's a little risky, but I decided just to call here, let him continue with most of his hands. If he has a straight, well, he's going to win a really big pot at this point because we're both very deep. Turn card comes as a seven of spades. A little bit concerning, puts up a lot of possible straight draws. In fact, any card that doesn't pair the board between an ace and a six can make a possible straight if they don't have one already. So, thinking all that, when he bets $50 into me again, I think I have to give my hand some protection. If he has a hand like king jack, I don't think he's going to fold. King queen, he's probably not going to fold. But if he has two pair, say king 10, 10 9, 9 7, anything like that, I think I'm going to get plenty of action. So I make it $250. Might be a little bit greedy, but I'm targeting two pair. If he has two pair, he is not going to be folding to me. If he has a straight, of course he's going to stack me because I'm not going anywhere. But he thinks for a long time, flashes that he had the king of clubs and throws it in the muck. Player limps from under the gun. It's folded back around to the small blind, who also limps. I look down at two jacks in the big blind. I make it $20. They both put in the call rather quickly. So the three of us are going to go off to a flop with $60 in it. Flop comes out, jack 9-4. Man, are we running hot. Woo! First player checks. I continue for $25. Both players end up putting in a call. Turn card comes is the 10 of clubs. Oh, not the one I was looking for. Could make a couple straights here. Someone might took something off with king, queen. Maybe someone made two pair. Maybe someone has a flush draw and picked up a little more equity with an extra draw. Small blind now leads into me $75. Now this is the same player from last time when I flop a set of kings. He could be doing this with quite a wide range. He might have something like 7, 8. I decided just to put in the call, let the player behind me come, but the player behind me was more than happy to come along. He goes all in for another $86. So, and this player, well, he's kind of tight. So I'm thinking, well, he definitely has a straight here. Probably has king, queen offsuit, limped in front, called a raise, called one bet with a gutter and two overcards and just jammed it up. I'm sure the player to my right's thinking similar things. Maybe he flopped has a small end of the straight. I was thinking about building a side pot here, but it'll be a dry side pot. And since my other opponent definitely has a straight, and I'm sure my player to my right knows that he has a straight, I think my best chances is to hope that he has two pair, just flat, and hope he fills up. River card comes as a ace of spades. Well, we didn't fill up, and neither did my opponent to my right. He checks it over to me. Now, if I think my opponent would call with two pair here, I would definitely bet for value. But he's never going to be calling with two pair here. He knows the other guy has a straight. He's only going to be calling with something that beats my set. So might as well just check it back, to have him turn it over. One player has 8-7 for the straight. Kind of surprised it wasn't king, queen. The player to my right had two pair with 9-10. So this game ended up breaking. I switched over to another table and I get into this weird situation where I have 5, 6 of hearts. Player open for a raise and I'm gonna call, and so do a couple other players. We go to a flop with $81 in it. Flop comes pretty good. It comes 9, 7, 4 with 1 heart. So I flop an open ender and I got a backdoor flush draw. First player checks, I check, and it ends up getting checked around. Okay, that's all right. Let's see if we can hit it. Turn card comes as a deuce of diamonds. Well, it would have been better if it was a 3. Player in the big blind decides to lead out, this time for $35. I think I should be calling here. He has enough in his stack to have a make a straight. I can get paid off. The other players fold out, and the two of us are going to see a river card, which comes the 2 of hearts. Not the card we're hoping to see. And to my surprise, my opponent decides to check. Okay, maybe I can steal this, but man, board pairing bottom is like one of the worst cards you can try to steal from. Definitely not going to be winning this with 6 high. Oh, I just decided I'm just going to surrender, check it back. I don't think I can get away with a bluff. And to my surprise, he turns over 5-3. So I win this with 6 high. Wow. All right. Yes, we have kings again. And we open for $20. End up getting 1 caller from the big blind. This player likes to mix it up. He'll be calling with a very wide range of hands. Flop comes out. King 7-3. Yes, we flop another top set. And not only that, again, we have an opponent lead into us. This time for a small bet of $20. There is no way in the world I'm going to be raising him at this point. If he has something, let's continue. Only worried about someone maybe making a gut shot or picking up some sort of flush draw. I call and we see a 6 of diamonds. Well, there's the flush draw. There's the gut shots. There's a lot of pair and straight draws now. He bets again small, $20. I decided I need to build a pot here, so I make it $80, and he postures for a moment before snap folding, saying that he had nothing and he just wanted to get a rise out of me. This happened to be the last interesting hand of the day. Ended up cashing out. We end up winning $800 on a day, which is pretty good. We started off really blistering hot. We were up almost $1,000 in the first, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes. Gave some of it back. Built it back up, lost some with that pocket jacks hand, but overall I'm very pleased with the way I played and with the results. I definitely caught my share of cards. If you guys didn't notice, the first 4 hands I was living with the ace of hearts in my hand. Seems like every time I got that card I couldn't lose. Anyway, I really do appreciate your support. Thank you for watching and getting to the end. And just a reminder, I decided on a trip to Texas for this November. I'm going to be headed out there to the Austin area, play at the Lodge and maybe a Texas Card House of Austin. We will be there, my wife and myself, from November 10th through the 14th. And if you're in the area, come down, say hello. I'd love to meet you. Anyway, until next time, good luck at the tables, and we'll see you back here soon.